Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about a new update. A few hours ago Kabam dropped an announcement basically with everything that's going to happen in March, and we're going to go through some of the main events. Now I'm going to leave the champion spotlights of Moleman and T-Rex in a different video, but in this video we're going to be discussing all the new events that are announced and some more updates, changes, bug fixes, so on and so forth. So first and foremost, as I mentioned already, we have Moleman and T-Rex coming in. Both seem to be very interesting champions, and if MCOC history is any sort of indication, that typically more unknown champions have a relatively decent good chance to be quite good, because it's never a Silver Surfer that ends up being beyond god tier. It's always something like Ghost, which is a minor villain in Ant-Man movie with one appearance in MCU. So point being is, these characters do fit descriptions to present some new and interesting mechanics in the game, and we're going to be discussing them in separate videos coming later today once I kind of try and process the information a bit more in my head, but both of them definitely do seem interesting. We also have 6.4 coming to the contest, which I'm going to discuss a bit later on, but we're going to start with Moleman Expeditions. So Moleman Expeditions is going to be something in between Gwenpool Goes to the Movies quest, but with some variations of some sort like that. The base idea is there's going to be a new kind of chapter unlocked or new quest unlocked every week, and you're going to go in with a shrunk down team with a team of 3 people, so just like you go in IQ or AW, and then you're going to be trying to complete it or explore it and then wait for the next week something else gets unlocked. Other than that, we do not have much information about this event at all. We do not know the length of it, we do not know the rewards of it, therefore at large I will keep my impressions or kind of like judgment to myself in this case, because there's just too much unknown. This event might end up being fantastic, amazing, and great. On the other hand, this event might end up being a dud, because we have seen Gwenpool Goes to the Movies and we have seen some weak, stretched out, really long, boring rehashes of it later on, so we never know which one we are going to get. However, I can say that much, that Kabam seems to have been improving on these side events and the quality and the time investment, so hopefully they keep on a good streak and make sure this event is also relatively brief, achievable, doesn't feel like a drag or another monthly side event quest or anything like that. So that is hopeful there, but we're gonna have to wait and see for that one. But that is going to be basically our side event. Additional to that, we are also gonna get Women's Day boss rush and solo objectives, which is awesome. I'm like all for Women's Day, and especially in this game, because we have so many great female champions in the game, such as Ghost and Quake, which in my opinion are 2 by far the best champions in the game. Additionally, we have Black Widow Clairvoyant, we have Wasp, we have, I don't know, Medusa. We have so many other champions that do so well, and if history is any indication, it's more than likely that we are going to be able to earn some sort of shards or crystals which give us chance to pull female champions. So for many of you who are hunting specifically for like Quake, Ghost, or any other female champions, this might be a relatively decent chance to try and pick them up. And also quite a big thing is the boss rush, because obviously the boss rush event style and format has kind of been forgotten for quite a bit, and it's not too often we get these. So obviously I think we all should be happy that we get another this type of event, because boss rush historically always have had a fairly decent rewards. Additionally, they never really required too much time investment, and they were a relatively fun and interesting piece of content, and I'm all up for having more and more of these in the contest. And this Women's Day boss rush definitely comes as a nice surprise, because it wasn't leaked, rumored, it just kind of like fell on us out of nowhere. It's not part of the kind of like traditional normal monthly plan that we are getting, so well psyched for that. I think it's gonna make for a fantastic, like, I don't know, live stream, couple of good videos, maybe some interesting fights as well, and overall hopefully it's just gonna be all around enjoyable event. Additionally, we're gonna get all of these special objectives, and objectives is always kind of like a nice time as well, bonus rewards for investing some sort of effort, and that is also great. Like this month, objectives, if we're honest, I think are a bit of failure. I'm personally not bothering with that arena and the solo objectives there, especially because you typically end up completing all the milestones in arena, which are absolutely garbage, and then you kind of end up grinding just for solo objectives, as far as I have heard from people, and the rewards there are far from fantastic. So hopefully Kabam has taken away that as a lesson, and these solo objectives will be more easy to achieve and will have something a bit more worthwhile in them. Definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully they do a great job on it. Now we're going to have new features and updates, which is also going to be quite a bit new things for the game. Unfortunately, they missed kind of like the things that people were most concerned about. We do not have the mastery update, we do not have help all or different mechanics for help, so on and so forth. But we have some new things that we did not know are in the works. So there's going to be a resource finder, a new feature that will show up somewhere where to find the required catalyst to rank up a champion. I don't know how that useful will be, especially for experienced players, but I guess that for newer people who do not follow YouTube, for newer people who do not get on forums as much or haven't played the game as long of a time, perhaps this is going to be a useful feature, so it might work out really well for them. We're going to have new thing as daily and weekly objectives. Now these do sound really interesting. We have a new daily objective will be given out to summoners once per year. These can accumulate up to maximum 3 objectives once per day, sorry. These can accumulate up to maximum 3 objectives, after which they will need to be completed basically in order to receive a new one. Once per day they will be able to replace one of their daily objectives for free. So it's kind of sounds like similar to these solo events, and this probably potentially might be the next version of them. And if so, it does sound really promising, because here's an option to swap out a solo event that you're personally not interested in and complete the rest, and then if you get another one that you don't particularly enjoy, you can just swap that one like kind of once a day. Like for me personally, I don't grind arena whatsoever, so typically quite often when these solo daily event quests for arena come by, I just don't even put in like a single arena fight in them or anything like that. So if it's going to be something that's working similarly, just like with updated rewards, plus it gives us the ability to choose and like kind of swap out the ones we're not interested in, then I'm going to be all up for that, and I'm going to be praising Kabam for doing that. And I think it's a great, fantastic change coming into the contest, and it possibly might be one of the more decent ideas they have actually had, how to sort out these type of problems. And there are aspects of a game where people are not interested in, such as arena, and being able to kind of like still take part of and advantage of these solo objectives but swap out the ones you're not interested in, that would be so fantastic. And this has a really good potential to be a fantastic, great, amazing, enjoyable feature for the game, which each player can kind of customize to their own needs and their own targets and their own ideas of how they want to play the game. So that's awesome. And weekly objectives are going to be fairly similar. 3 weekly objectives will be given out at the start of every week. Any completed objectives at the end of the week will be replaced by a new weekly objective. Any uncompleted weekly objectives will remain with their progress intact. Now, this is also kind of cool. I wish they added the swap out feature here as well, but we're gonna see how it works out. It definitely does seem something that's interesting and likely to be much better than the daily events. Now, they didn't write that they are taking the daily events away. However, that probably might be the case later on, because it definitely seems something very similar to daily events, and they're just kind of like testing the water with it. Path-based rewards display. I'm going to be able to check if there are some of the path rewards left. I guess that's cool. Champion index, you're going to be able to sort the champions that you don't own or something like that. That's also kind of cool, because currently that display of the champions you're missing, I don't know, I think it's fairly useless. I don't think it does too much for you. But yeah, either way. And then we have bug fixes and improvements. Basically, A-Gun's heavy spam is going to get taken away. Parry becomes available from level 6. Wonderful. fixed an issue with Killmonger, Loki, Mr. Fantastic, some bug, nothing too important there, I think. And that's about it. There's nothing like too important aside from Aegon's heavy attack being fixed. So if you want to heavy spam cheese your collectors in Abyss, go do it before update. And the next big thing that I kind of skimmed over here is that 6.4 is coming. And now 6.4 is obviously a huge deal. It's a massive piece of content that we have been waiting for so desperately for so long. Act 6 seems to have been dragging on for absolutely forever. It seems like only a couple months ago 6.1, well, it has been dragging, but at the same time has been flying, because 6.1 came out, everybody was in shock of the 4-star ban, and that is what largely colored at least 6.1. 6.2 came out, and it was an absolute fail of an event that deterred a large amount of people from even trying to explore Act 6, because it was so overcomplicated, designed with all of the gates, with all of the requirements, and some ridiculous fights, plus some cash grab fights of Mr. Sinister, and the champion is difficult for many people, and also the Mordo boss has that strength in numbers node, and there's just a lot of bad things to say about 6.2, but I have said it all in the past, so I'm not gonna jump in it too much. 6.3 overall, I think, was definitely a step in the right direction. My only kind of like real massive 2 points of critique for 6.3 were the health pools were far bigger than they had any right to be, and that content was already clearly designed for rank 3 champions, because if you took the 5 highest prestige 5-star champions running suicides in your team, it still showed your PI as not to be high enough. So that piece of content, whether Kabam will admit to that or not, effectively definitely was designed to the power level of rank 3 6-stars at the minimum. And the second bit, it was very specific. That I did not enjoy, that every path you had to have very few select champions to answer the problems. But all in all, it was definitely a step in right direction, where these requirements were more kind of implied via the nodes, and it made it difficult to use other champions, opposed to the flat-out gated system where bring in 4 6-stars or, well, you can't get in. So that is definitely a step in the right direction from 6.2. Now the 4-star ban still sucks though. I don't know how many times I'm gonna have to repeat this, and I will repeat it, because it really sucks and serves no purpose and makes no sense aside from helping Kabam fill their pockets and slowing people down from jumping in Act 6 because they are missing synergy champions or some specific utility champions. But all of that being said, 6.4 is coming. So hopefully 6.4 is going to be an awesome piece of content. I'll be honest, I know there were betas, public betas and stuff like that. I hadn't followed it too closely, but I believe the feedback of it overall was fairly positive, so I look forward to it definitely. And perhaps most importantly, with the release of 6.4, we are going to be able to see 6.4 rewards and Act 6 rewards, because this is going to be basically like a double payday for us. So when 6.2 came out, we could see the chapter rewards obviously, but we could not see that big carrot at the end of the stick that's dangling in front of us for exploring Act 6. Now, if you have kept your Act 6 exploration up to date, and if you have 6.1, 2 and 3 already explored, then exploring 6.4 will basically give you a double payday, because you're going to get the rewards for 6.4 and you're going to get the rewards for Act 6 in general as well. And they should be good ones. There should be some good stuff. Typically, always, finishing an act, such as Act 4 or 5, signaled an entry new game level. When you finished Act 4, you gained access to your first rank 4 5-star champion, because you got 4 tier 2 alphas. When you finished Act 5, you gained access to your first rank 5 5-star champion, because you gained 2 tier 5 basics. And when you finish Act 6, it remains to be seen what we will gain access to, because Kabam got carried away with selling catalysts, and Base of Legends is out now as well, so rank 3 barrier definitely has already been breached for quite a while. So that is not something that's going to happen with Act 6 for the first time ever. However, the rewards typically are extremely generous. Hopefully they are this time as well. My personal kind of hope is that we get access to 2, maybe 3 rank 3 6-star champions, because if in past it was 1 champion of the next progression level, then in this case we're already in that progression level, so would make sense to me to grant more of those. I do not think there are going to be any materials whatsoever for my taking 6-star rank 4. It's far too early for that in my opinion, but I do think there's going to be probably a generic 6-star gem, perhaps a class 6-star gem as well, and probably 2 to 3 tier 5cc total, probably in some sort of shard crystals, fragment crystals. That is kind of like combined of 6.4 rewards plus Act 6 rewards. But there's definitely a lot of excitement riding. I'm personally really pumped, really excited to be able to complete Act 6. It has been such a long amount of time, and it will look so neat, and it can certainly give you that feeling kind of an accomplishment. But obviously every time we do complete a chapter or an act, you always long for the next thing. So as soon as 6.4 is completed, we're going to be starting asking to come out, when's Act 7 coming? What's next? What's next? Because we have just gotten Abyss. And in Kabam's credit, Kabam has kept us busy throughout the last year. I think because every other month we had something major drop. So we had 6.1, 2, and 3 drop in 2019. We had variants 2, 3, and 4 drop in 2019. So all of that was definitely quite a lot of content to go through. And now we have had Abyss come out, and we have constantly been getting these big pieces of content, and I love it. I do think that's exactly what's needed to keep the endgame players playing, and I definitely enjoy that. It definitely has been a step up in last year, and I hope that just because we finish Act 6 now, rest of 2020 doesn't seem too boring, because if you think about it, Abyss just came out, 6.4 is about to finish, and it's only February. What are we going to be doing for the rest of the year? So hopefully Kabam has something great in store for us. But all of that being said, I think that will pretty much do for today's video, because I have been rambling on quite long enough. Let me know what you guys think about Act 6.4 coming, Act 6 finishing, new side events, and everything else that has been announced in this post in particular. Are you excited? I know I am. I'm trying my best not to get my hopes up for anything anymore after a couple of updates Kabam has released, but for Act 6.4 coming out in particular, I'm super pumped. Can't wait to make all of the videos, do the live streams, release the guides, produce the content, clear the quests, have some fun in it. It should be great. Hopefully it is. But yeah, guys, drop a comment, let me know. Are you excited for 6.4? Are you rushing 6.1, 2, and 3 explorations now? Either way, that will do for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, sub button, share button, all the buttons, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya!